Okay, so The Big Bang Theory is probably the most universally hated show of all time. But what if I told you that I really like it? Now, I said this in my Transformers video, which is funny because I just realized I'm making 2 videos in a row talking about a really hated piece of media that I really like. But yeah, I actually have really good taste in things. And also, don't worry, this video isn't going to explain why The Big Bang Theory is actually secretly genius. No. This is not what that video is about. This video is basically about me explaining why The Big Bang Theory does not deserve the amount of hate that it gets. And that this is 100% one of those situations where it's only hated because it's like really popular. And yes, just like the Transformers video, The Big Bang Theory has its flaws. It has a lot of flaws. When I used to watch it as a kid, I never really noticed those flaws, but I do now. And with noticing those flaws, I can still say that it is still a good show. A good show. It's not a masterpiece, it's not the most incredible show of all time, but it is still a good show, and it's not a bad show. Like, come on, there's plenty worse than The Big Bang Theory. Some examples include these. See, there's plenty worse than The Big Bang Theory. It's just crazy to think about that people hate this show so much. Like, yeah, it's cringy and stuff, but like, come on. I remember watching Wisecrack's video about this, and they hated it. He just tore into it. He had no respect for it. He treated it like it was the worst thing of all time. And I was like, dude. So I guess that means it's time for me to explain myself. I'm gonna give the reasons why I think that this is a pretty good show and not nearly as bad as what everyone says it is. But before we do that, let's have a very brief intermission. Okay, intermission over. Top it off, this show is really funny. And no, I'm not talking about Bazinga, and I'm not talking about how they reference nerdy culture and nerdy things and expect people to laugh because haha, references. And I'm also not talking about the adorable misogyny, which by the way is an aspect about the show I don't like. And it's not like the show glorifies the misogyny, it doesn't at all. If you've actually watched the show, you'd see that it knows it's creepy. And isn't it funny how Michael Scott is borderline racist and super ignorant, and he's also kind of misogynist in the first few seasons of The Office, but everyone still loves The Office. Everyone loves The Office because it has funny Smirky Man and funny farmer beat guy, but nobody likes The Big Bang Theory because it has evil Bazinga Man. By the way, I really like The Office as well. I feel like I was sidetracked a lot. Yeah, let me get back to what I was originally saying. The show is really funny. And the funniest aspects about the show are the aspects about the show that no one seems to talk about that much. First off, Howard and Raj have great chemistry, and they are hilarious characters. I know it's a trope, but the 2 best friends are also kind of the big gay, and it kind of seems like that, but seriously, it's hilarious. Also, the relationship between Howard and his mother is hysterical. Some of the best quotes and lines from the show come from him and his mom. I just realized that some of the best parts of the show are Howard. Honestly, Howard is the best part of the show. I mean, he starts off as this creepy, perverted loser incel guy, but then he goes through such a huge arc during this series. He gets a girlfriend, he becomes a father, he becomes an astronaut, he gets kids, and he becomes the most mature out of the main guys. Howard should have been the main character, not Sheldon. Also, Barry Kripke is really funny. I don't really have much to say, I just really like him. Huh, I just realized I read all my notes already. That was it? Those 3 things? That was all I had to talk about the show? Huh. Maybe the show isn't as good as I thought. Maybe it's just nostalgia. Maybe it's just me maybe it's just a comfort place that I go to every now and then. I grew up with the show, so I'm going to a comforted, space that I didn't write this part out in the script. You can probably tell. Okay, maybe it's not the best show in the world. I'm aware of that. I know a lot of the time it's just me, it's just due to nostalgia. That's why I like this show so much. But I'm still a firm believer that the show isn't that bad. There's far worse, way worse than Big Bang Theory. It's just a silly, goofy sitcom about nerds and scientists and physicists and stuff like that. Also, if you like this show, don't be embarrassed to like this show. Don't be embarrassed to like everything. You can just say, this is my guilty pleasure show. This is 100% my guilty pleasure show. I know it's not a masterpiece. Why do you think I like this 3rd Star Wars movie so much? You think I like it for the plot? For the writing, for the character development? No, I like it for the freaking memes, because it's a joke. That's why I like it. And maybe that's why I like The Big Bang Theory so much. Maybe it's so bad that it's good. So, what's the lesson of this video? That The Big Bang Theory is not the worst show ever. There's way worse than The Big Bang Theory, and you shouldn't be ashamed to like The Big Bang Theory just because everyone says you should be ashamed to not like it. You know what I mean. Finally, I end off the video in a good note. Because I did it in such a good note, I think I'm going to end this video off with, I'm going to do a backflip on my bed. Listen to this. I hurt myself.